Joining us now, NewsNation political contributor Dr. Lauren Wright. Good morning to you. And now we have this news of this yet another oil tanker being seized by U.S. forces. What are the larger political implications of these moves?
Well, we really don't know yet because this is such a fluid situation, Marni. We don't know whether this will ultimately be a tremendous success for the United States. It's certainly in our interest to get Maduro out, but we don't know whether another chaotic situation could unfold in that government administration. And we also, don't know for sure what Democrats are saying is that it's automatically going to be a disaster. It's simply too soon for these prognostications. And, arguing against the process and how it happened might be reasonable, but there also are some very real wins here for Americans and Venezuelans potentially.
Right, echoing the call that the world and America is safer with Maduro in custody. The president, in his remarks to GOP lawmakers in Washington yesterday, was, "I'm going to be meeting with the oil executives." What kinds of questions will those top oil execs likely have for the administration about next steps?
Well, some of them are we going to get our money and our oil back? I mean, just think about how Venezuela owes ConocoPhillips $8 billion that it still hasn't given them by public accounts. And so, when President Trump says stolen oil, some of that is hyperbole, but the underlying truth is that when that country socialized the oil reserves and Maduro took them over and booted out U.S. companies, that was really bad for us and for our companies who have been drilling there and selling the oil for years. And so I do think it is reasonable to meet with these executives and find a path forward.
What about the question of governance in Venezuela? What do you anticipate to come out of the broader congressional briefing this week?
Well, first of all, I'm glad there are congressional briefings. President Trump and the administration should be sharing as much information as possible, both with Congress and directly to the American public, who still really hasn't heard a clear case of why we did this, what are the parts of it that are in our best interest as average Americans. That needs to be communicated clearer. And I suspect there will be very tough questions asked by Republicans and eventually Democrats too.
This wasn't on our sheet to discuss, but I'd love to get your
That's
thoughts
fine.
on Greenland, given the news of that today, the administration hinting that they'd like to buy Greenland and Denmark saying it's not for sale.
Yeah.
What will you be watching with this situation?
Well, Greenland is not going to be bought in the general sense of the word. That's also an oversimplification by Trump. Sometimes when he describes things this way, it's easy for people to understand, but it obscures the complexity. There is an argument to be made that there's lots of reasons why the people of Greenland, it's only about 60,000 people there, but they might want to assert their independence from Denmark. And so the sort of diplomatic case that the U.S. needs to make, the political case, is more that more U.S. involvement would make them safer and better off. And that's a delicate negotiation. It's not an automatic transaction as it's been sort of spoken about.
Interesting. All right, Dr. Lauren Wright, as always, a pleasure. Happy New Year to you.